All right, settle in, buttercups, because today we're going deep, and I mean like Mariana Trench deep. Many of you, bless your naive little hearts, ask me, what is the secret to making big money? And I tell you the truth, I really do, but no one ever believes me. They want some fancy, complicated, secret sauce. Some crypto coin that goes to the moon overnight, some penny stock that turns into a unicorn, but the real secret, it is so boring, so painfully obvious. It is time, plain old, TikTok time, and you, my friend, are running out of it. I need to spell this out as clear as I possibly can for everyone, because I see far too many bright young people, like in their 20s, making this exact same soul-crushing mistake. And it is not just going to cost them a little, it is going to cost them their entire financial future. This video, it is for that guy or that girl who is cruising through their 20s, maybe hasn't started taking money seriously yet. It is still like an afterthought. A side quest, maybe you've been prioritizing, I don't know, that new car, that shiny new phone, that gaming rig, and I totally get it. You're young, you're vibrant, you're figuring out a lot of stuff. The world is your oyster. You want to live your best life. Right now, maybe instead of investing that extra money you got from your side hustle, you go and upgrade your car to something with more horsepower. You go and upgrade your phone because, like, the camera on yours is so last year, or your computer because, well, you need to game harder, or maybe, just maybe, you're the super cautious type, and you just leave your hard-earned cash just chilling in a bank account, like a forgotten houseplant, because you honestly think it is the safest thing to do. You might think, oh, I have so much time my whole life to figure out money and investing. But here is the cold, hard slap of reality. You don't. In fact, if you aren't getting on top of this thing as early as humanly possible, you are, quite literally, running out of time to be rich. And I'm going to tell you why. Exactly why. In this video, this whole situation, it reminds me of one of my all-time favorite investing quotes. It is from the legendary businessman, Jim Rohn. He says, and I quote, "Everything is risky. If you think investing is risky, wait until they hand you the tab for not investing." Today, my friends, I'm going to show you that tab, the true bone. Chilling cost of not investing if you wait too long. Like, after all, what really could happen if you decide to chill and wait to invest until you're in your 30s or your 40s, or God forbid, your 50s, if you're, shall we say, a little lax in how you approach money. It is very, very likely that later in your life, instead of your hard-earned dollars working for you and generating sweet, sweet income while you sleep, you'll have to continue to work for your dollars and work longer. Much, much longer than you'll ever like. The only regret, and I mean the only regret I have about my investing journey so far, is that I didn't start even sooner. And get this, I started when I was 22. So if you're lucky enough to be watching this, and you're younger than 22, like, you have an insane once in a lifetime opportunity staring you right in the face. And please, for the love of all that is financially holy, pay attention to this. To me, it is genuinely sad. Like, a little piece of my soul cries when I see people. And many times, people who are super close to me in my life are in their mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, saying stuff like, oh, I got time, plenty of time. I don't need to worry about this investing thing yet. I'll figure out money later when I'm like an adult. I can start in my 30s, maybe when I have more responsibilities, and then I can take money seriously. But for now, I'll just have fun. And honestly, I just shake my head so hard, I probably give myself whiplash when I hear this line of thinking. Because by doing this, you are actually actively throwing away your prime, your absolute best advantage in investing. And that, my friends, is time. And this seemingly small decision could be costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your life. And I'm not even exaggerating for dramatic effect. There seem to be two distinct kinds of people in this wild ride called life. Those who prioritize spending money on immediate gratification, and those who prioritize investing money for future freedom. And here's the mind-blowing part. Normal people, like you and me, can get rich if you just start young. That is the secret. I have people close to me, people I genuinely care about, who I would say are making truly bad financial decisions. You know, maybe they have a good cushion of money sitting there, doing absolutely nothing, but they're absolutely terrified to invest it, and they keep it all in cash instead of investing it. During insane market runs like 2020, 2021, and beyond, maybe every time they get a bonus from work, they immediately think, how can I spend this? Instead of, how can I invest this to make more money? And man, even though we may have made similar salaries throughout our lives, our financial standing now is vastly different. Even just 6 short years later, like, I'm talking 6-figure differences. Simply because I just started investing so young, and the market has just done so incredibly well since I started my journey. I've invested aggressively in my life, almost to the point of overdoing it, and my thinking was literally like, how can I get an extra $50 into the markets right now? I remember vividly during the wild ride of 2020, I was selling some of my old baseball and football cards on eBay just to scrounge up an extra 20, 50, $100 to be able to put into the stock market. It took me some time, some serious grinding, to build this thing up, but it has given me so much more than I could have ever imagined, and I'm damn proud to say I have a nice powerful army of dollars. Working for me now, I own this incredible asset of stocks, ETFs, and other investments, that not only could I sell it for its face value, but it pays me over $600 per month, just for owning it in sweet, sweet dividends. And how did I get there? You ask. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't some magic pill, but it was by doing consistently over time for about 6 years. It is not a lifetime. I don't even have to touch my investments, and they will likely grow into millions, all by themselves. And I do zero work on this for $600 per month. Zero work. Can you believe that? And that, my friends, is the beautiful, liberating definition of dollars working for me. It is like having an dedicated employee that goes out and works for me around the clock, bringing me money, about $20 per day, even in my sleep, no matter what I do with my waking hours. And I want that for you, I truly do. Now, let me show you the brutal stomach-churning cost of waiting to invest. So we're going to do a very simplified calculation here, one that includes the sneaky little monster we call inflation as well. So let's say your name's Jim Classic, right? And you're 20 years old, fresh out of your teens, you're in college, working part-time to pay for ramen and textbooks. But you decide, you know what? I want to start investing. So you decide to start investing $200 per month, which, let's be honest, is a very reasonable amount of money that I firmly believe normal people like us should be able to come up with. Now we have Dwight, poor Dwight. He just turned 30, big milestone, right? And he is getting married soon, probably stressing about wedding costs, and he figures, oh, I should probably start taking money seriously now, right? So he starts investing at 30, the same amount, $200 per month. So we're going to make a few standard assumptions here. Nothing crazy. We're going to assume a 10% average annual return, which basically matches the historical return of the S&P 500. And with inflation, it is about 7 or 8% real return. We're also going to factor in a 2% inflation rate just to keep it real. And as you get older, it is also fair to factor in that you'll be investing a little bit more over time as well, about 2% more each year. So again, all these are very normal, very conservative assumptions. Now, at the glorious age of retirement, at age 65, how much money do you think they each have? So Jim started at age 20 and Dwight started at age 30. Just a 10-year difference, right? And there is still lots of time for Dwight to catch up, right? So we can safely assume Jim's going to have more money. But the burning question is, how much money? So if you break it down, you do the cold, hard math, it is a massive soul-crushing difference. Jim, our smart early bird, will retire with about $2.2 million and almost $1 million adjusted for inflation. That is real buying power, and just because he waited a little bit, poor Dwight, he only has $800,000, and that is literally over $1 million less. And about $410,000 if you adjust it for inflation. So no matter what way you slice it, inflation, no inflation. Dwight is now kicking himself, probably screaming into a pillow, because for those 10 years, just 10 years, it literally cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars, even over $1 million, because he wasted the best asset of his life. And that, my friends, is time. Just to catch up to Jim and have $2 million by retirement, Dwight has to invest much, much more, about $500 or $600 per month, instead of the measly $200 Jim put in. And I don't even want to talk about what you have to do if you wait until your 40s to You're going to be looking at $1,500 plus of investing per month. So at a certain point, it becomes exponentially more difficult to become a millionaire if you wait so long to start. Because instead of investing hundreds of dollars per month to become a millionaire, you now it turns into investing thousands per month to make it. Instead of if you just started early, so instead of making it really hard on yourself to get rich, if you start young, you can just make it easy for yourself. A smooth ride, and as you can see, the total amount you actually put in is just a tiny, minuscule amount compared to what you have at the end, because you let your money compound for so long. Now, this is obviously a very oversimplified example, the market fluctuates a lot. We all know that, sometimes it goes up 10%, sometimes it goes down 15%, sometimes it goes up 6%, it varies a lot. It is a roller coaster, but overall, on average over time, it has been about 10% per year. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how people trap themselves, and they don't even know it. They're walking right into it, because by waiting for just 5-10 years, you're actively giving away your biggest, your most powerful advantage in investing, and that is time. You get to a point in your 30s, your 40s, where you suddenly have more responsibilities than you know what to do with. And although you're likely earning more, which is great, it is just much harder to invest larger amounts to keep up with the magic of compounding. Now, if you're 30, 40, or even older, watching this, it is still better to start now than never, obviously, but it just would have been so much easier, so much less stressful if you did this when you were younger, and good luck investing more when you have just so many more expenses. You're likely maintaining a house. With all its glorious repairs, you'd have more bills piling up, maybe more health expenses, and you might have a family to support. Little tiny humans to feed. People really do have it backwards. It is bizarre. They say they're going to wait till they're older to figure out money, except when they're older, they've already given away their biggest advantage. This is the tab, the terrifying, eye-opening tab of waiting to invest, and it might cost you not only your financial freedom, but you could find yourself trapped in this endless cycle without an asset, without an army of dollars paying you. And now, unless you can just force your way back into the game by earning a really, really high income, you could be stuck, truly stuck, and that is the cold, hard reality, a bitter pill to swallow. Like you're locked into working for a long, long time, forcing yourself into work longer than you would have ever liked, or maybe even putting your entire retirement in jeopardy. And it is sad, but it is true. It is the harsh truth. I don't want people making these avoidable mistakes when they could have been investing when they were younger, and they just, ignored it, waved it off. Now people always say, oh, but the market's going to crash. It is about to crash right now, bro. I can feel it. And then what I say to that is, I agree with you, 100%. It is basically inevitable that it is going to crash again. It could crash tomorrow, could crash in 1 year, could crash in 10 years. And you're right, technically, but do you really know enough about the markets to time it perfectly? What if it goes up 40 more percent and then it crashes 15%? I guess you could wait for it to crash if you're into that kind of stress. But what is the real risk in that? What is the alternative? Cash sitting there is getting eaten away by inflation every single day, plus the big fat opportunity cost. If the market continues to go up as it has been, it is a safer thing in the short term, maybe for your latte money, but historically, definitely not in the long term, for your retirement. Something like gold is also seen as another safety asset, shiny and reassuring, but it consistently lags behind stocks every single time. And since companies are providing value and producing income over the long term, whereas gold is just a store of value, it is not producing anything. It is really only makes sense to buy before a recession, but we don't even know when that is at the same time. It is a guessing game. And then we have crypto, the wild west of investing, which is extremely volatile and just as risky, if not riskier than stocks, and even something as big and seemingly stable as Bitcoin has seen 70% crashes at many times throughout its cycle. Then we have real estate, the classic American dream, which has actually underperformed the stock market gains by most available metrics, believe it or not. And that doesn't even factor in all the repair work you have to do, the leaky roofs, the broken pipes, the endless headaches. So the bottom line here, the real takeaway, is everything's risky. So you just have to choose your risk wisely, and everyone's situation's different, right? No one size fits all. And in your case, sometimes holding cash or making an alternative investment is a good call. And I'm definitely not making professional recommendations here, do your own research.